She was brought up in China's Cultural Revolution, denied an education. Years later, as an adult living in Canada, Tien Ching decided to do her part to make sure girls in rural China get the education she missed. And as Duncan McHugh reports, she's seeing her efforts pay off.
It fits her really well.
Zhang Fangfang has a new dress and, thanks to a Canadian with a dream, much, much more. Fangfang grew up poor on a farm in China, studying tirelessly to go to university. But even after selling their only 2 pigs, her family couldn't afford tuition.
I was very, very sad and very disappointed. More feel like very desperate. This is Fangfang.
That's when Tien Ching stepped in, offering to support Fangfang's education, just as she helped Li Hui study English and Jia Liyan study international relations.
I gave what I can, especially towards women, give them education because I didn't have chance to have it.
Ching was born in China in the 1950s. As a child, she studied at the best schools in Beijing. But then, political upheaval, the Cultural Revolution. For Ching, that meant re-education.
I was working very hard until the Cultural Revolution started. Everything just fell apart.
The communist government sent Ching to labor on a farm. She spent 20 years there until she immigrated to Canada. She worked hard to send her children to university, but didn't stop there.
If a woman is educated, her children will be educated. As a mother is the center of the family.
Ching founded the Society for Educating Girls of Rural China. In 4 years, she's hand-delivered checks to almost 200 girls from Gansu province. This year, not only is the first class of girls she sponsored graduating, one is the star of a fundraising concert. Fangfang now has a university degree in music. She's training as a soprano and hopes to teach one day.
What Miss Tien had done for me and gave me new hope, gave me a new life, changed my life.
One of many lives changed by a woman who believes everyone deserves an education. Duncan McHugh, CBC News, Vancouver.
In 2005, I founded the BC Society for Educating Girls of Rural China as a registered Canadian charity. The society, known more simply as EGRC, has raised funds mainly in Vancouver and sponsored 250 young women to get a university education. All sponsored students are from 3 rural regions of Gansu province in northwest China. Gansu is one of China's poorest provinces. The applicants for EGRC funding are already accepted by universities. Every August, I travel to Gansu to interview personally each applicant to find out their family financial situation and establish initial relationship with each student. On the same trip, I also meet the students who are already in the sponsorship to find out how they did in the previous school year. These meetings include group discussions, one-on-one interviews, presenting school transcripts, filling out applications, and signing contracts. I and some of the senior sponsored students also visit homes of the applicants. Towards the end of my trip, I transfer funds to each sponsored student's personal bank account. Currently, there are 174 girls under EGRC sponsorship studying at 92 universities in China. In 2009 and 2010, a total of 76 students graduated. 10 of them went on to graduate school, pursuing higher education. About 50 found employment. The rest are still in the process of finding work. Many students express the desire to help others once they're able, and some have carried out volunteer work in their home communities. They told me that, beside the financial aid they received, they have also benefited from learning what it means to pay it forward. Visiting the new students' home is important, not just to check out their financial situation, but to let them and their family know firsthand about our organization. Over the past 2 years, some of the senior students have also assisted me in visiting homes. I visited 2 families during my time in Gansu in August 2010. This is Ma Wenjing's family home. The family has lived in this Muslim village for generations. You can see that the grandmother was very emotional when she met us and found out that we're going to help her. She said her husband died young. She had to raise her children on her own. None of her children have ever gone to school before. I welcome Ma Wenjing as a new member of the EGRC family. On the morning of August 12, 2010, I met with a group of students who have completed 3 years of study. The meeting took place in the boardroom of Longxi County School Board. One student, Wang Xueyan, played guzheng, a Chinese instrument. Her major is music education in Lanzhou City University. She has been using her own money and time to study this instrument. She practices 6 hours a day on top of her schoolwork. In 1.5 years, she learned to play at a level equivalent to 4 or 5 years of study. She also talked about her journey of growing up in a small village, always feeling that her life was being compromised because she is a girl. She now is an accomplished and confident young woman. Her dream is to open a music studio in her hometown, Longxi. She said that rural children never have the chance to learn to play musical instruments simply because they cannot afford to buy one, and there is no teaching facility. Her future studio will offer music lessons and instrument rentals. She will also offer free instructions to children who love to play but do not have the financial means to pay. Her plan has already got support from her teachers. Mo Yan is studying medical biology at Lanzhou University. She has been accepted into a master's program with full scholarship by 2 of the most prominent universities, Fudan University in Shanghai and Tsinghua University in Beijing. Her dream is to come to Canada to complete her PhD. She is talking here about being an EGRC sponsorship recipient and how the sponsorship made all her achievements possible. In the future, she wants to become an EGRC donor herself to help more students. Huang Lili is an engineering student studying at Chang'an University. She says, I have never lived life as a normal university student. I have had to work at 2 or 3 different jobs every term over the past 3 years and worked every weekend plus holidays. I can never forget that terrible accident happened 3 years ago, which changed my life and my family forever. My father is now paralyzed from his neck down, and he has to have a few different operations each year to keep him alive. My mother also had injuries from that accident. She has lost all her hair due to the stress. She is only 42. I have a younger sister and brother at home. Without the money I received from EGRC and encouragement from Madame Tien, I would never dream that I could complete my university study. I'm not number 1 in my class, but I belong in the top few. I could go on to a grad program, but I have to find work to help my parents and my siblings. Once I start earning money, I will take my father to the best doctors, and I will support my brother and sister's education. EGRC brought light to me in the darkest period of my life. My parents and I are very grateful for all the help we have received.